Welcome to This Explainer. I'm so glad you're here, because today we are tackling something that's honestly a bit of a mystery to a lot of folks, but it is absolutely crucial for your wallet. We're talking about how real estate professionals actually figure out what a home is worth. You hear all this buzz about algorithms, those online calculators, property taxes, but today we're tossing all that out the window. We're going under the hood to see the real, actual math that the experts use.
It's the million-dollar question, right? Literally, in some markets, how much is your home actually worth? Well, the truth is, while those online algorithms might take a wild guess, and your county tax assessor's doing some, backward-looking math, those methods usually miss the mark by a mile. There is a much, much better, highly precise way to find the actual truth about your property's value in today's market.
And that ultimate truth teller is the Comparative Market Analysis, or what we call a CMA. So the crucial point is, a CMA is an evaluation of a property's estimated market value, and it's based entirely on similar homes in the surrounding area. It's not just some random number spat out by a computer. It is a detailed, highly analytical report put together by a real estate broker. They're looking at what just sold, what's selling right now, and, maybe most importantly, what completely failed to sell. It's really the ultimate tool for buyers and sellers to make smart financial moves.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for This Explainer. We'll start by demystifying the CMA. Then we'll walk through the 5-step process to build one. After that, we'll look at the CMA versus other types of valuations, figure out exactly when you need to get one, and finally, how to spot a bad CMA. Let's get into it. Starting off with Section 1, demystifying the CMA, and looking at the real goal of real estate valuation. So when a broker sits down at their desk to crunch the numbers, what are they actually trying to achieve? The goal isn't to magically fabricate one single perfect number. No, it's about answering a very specific question. Based on the current market and comparable homes, what price range would a buyer actually consider reasonable for this specific property? Because at the end of the day, real estate is totally driven by human behavior. The goal is to find that sweet spot, that exact zone where a buyer's willingness to open their wallet intersects with a seller's willingness to accept the offer. Moving right along to Section 2, the 5-step process, or building a CMA from scratch. Okay, let's dive into this. This is where the real detective work happens. The whole methodology follows a really logical 5-step flow. Step 1, you review the subject property. Step 2, you select your comparables, or comps. Step 3 is reviewing the different types of listings. Step 4, you account for the differences. And finally, Step 5, you develop a value range. All right, Step 1 is all about the subject property. A broker has to learn absolutely everything they can about the home. And here's the kicker. Public records and online photos, they just don't cut it. They miss so many crucial details. An in-person visit is completely essential. A broker actually has to walk through your front door to evaluate the stuff a computer can't see. Like, is the floor plan actually functional? Is there a ton of road noise from the highway out back? What's the real physical quality of that recent remodel? Or honestly, just how the property feels when you're standing in it. Those are massive drivers of value. Step 2 is selecting the comps, or comparable homes. Now, a lot of folks assume you just draw a 1-mile circle around the house on a map and pick whatever sold recently. But the closest home isn't always the best comparable. Not by a long shot. Think about it. An older sale in the exact same neighborhood that has the exact same floor plan as yours, that is a way stronger comparison than a newer sale of a totally different style of home that just happens to be right next door. Even Fannie Mae says that an older, highly similar sale is way more useful than a newer one where you have to make a ton of adjustments. It's all about similarity in style, age, and condition, not just geography. Now, Step 3. This reveals the fascinating psychology of the market. A thorough CMA looks at 4 different types of listings. First up, sold homes. That's your foundation. It's historical proof of what buyers actually paid. Second, pending homes. This shows the current attraction, like what's literally working right this second. Third, active listings. That's your competition. It's what you're up against today. But the fourth category? This one is pure gold. Expired, canceled, or withdrawn listings. These represent rejection. They show you exactly what buyers in your market absolutely refuse to accept, whether it was priced too high, in rough shape, or just in a bad location. And this brilliantly illustrates Step 4, accounting for differences. Look, no 2 homes are exactly alike, right? So the broker has to make adjustments. Say you just dropped $80,000 on a gorgeous kitchen remodel. Does that automatically mean your home's value jumps by exactly $80,000? Nope, not at all. Adjustments have to reflect how buyers actually respond to a feature, not just what the feature cost you. The real value of that 80 grand remodel depends on the design, the quality, and most importantly, whether buyers in your specific market are actually willing to pay a premium for it. Finally, in step 5, all of this data converges into a solid strategy. A really good, responsible CMA is going to give you a supported price range, not just one exact, magically fabricated number. It outlines a probable market value range, estimates how long it'll take to sell, and weighs different pricing strategies based on what the seller actually wants to do. If a seller wants out fast, they might price it just a hair below expected value to spark a bidding war. But if they've got a super unique property and all the time in the world, they might aim higher. The CMA gives you the data you need to make that strategic choice. Next up is Section 3, CMA versus other valuations, knowing the difference. Now, it is absolutely vital to know the difference here, because using the wrong valuation tool for the wrong purpose can literally cost you thousands of dollars or even kill a deal entirely. Let's look at a CMA versus a formal real estate appraisal. An appraisal is done by a state-licensed appraiser. It's this formal, independent opinion of value that you absolutely need for things like getting a mortgage, legal disputes, or estate taxes. A CMA, though, is prepared by a real estate broker. It's heavily focused on market positioning, sizing up the current competition, and predicting buyer behavior. So a CMA is a fantastic planning tool, but you can never, ever represent it as a licensed appraisal. Next up, the CMA versus the online estimate. Come on, we all love checking those instant home value algorithms online, right? They're super fun if you're just curious. It's kind of like astrology for your house. But honestly, they are essentially blind. An automated model only uses public data. It has no idea if your floor plan is a total disaster, if your backyard is essentially a cliff, or if you just did some super high-end updates. A broker-prepared CMA adds that on-the-ground local knowledge and human interpretation that a computer just cannot do. And then we have the CMA versus the county assessed value. Please, whatever you do, never use your tax assessment as your listing price. County assessors value property based strictly on state property tax laws, and they use specific dates that are usually way in the past. Plus, they haven't seen the inside of your house. A CMA, on the other hand, is built to figure out how your property is going to compete in the current real estate market using fresh sales and active competition. They're just two totally different tools built for two totally different purposes. Section 4. When do you need one? Timing your analysis. Let's move to and see how this builds. Timing your analysis is so key to protecting your equity and just making smart financial moves. There are a handful of life events where a CMA is incredibly handy. Obviously, before you list a home to sell, you need to understand the pricing, but buyers need them too. Before you make an offer, you want a CMA so you don't end up overpaying. You should also totally ask for one before you dump money into major renovations, like a kitchen remodel or an ADU, just to make sure you aren't over-improving for your specific neighborhood. They're also great if you're trying to decide whether to sell or rent out a place, or if you've inherited a property. And the best part? A lot of brokers offer these totally free of charge, just to help you plan. Bringing us to Section 5, spotting a bad CMA and the red flags to watch for. Okay, this is where we empower you. Not all CMAs are created equal. Sadly, some are rushed, lazy, or honestly, just manipulated. If someone hands you a CMA with these warning signs, run. First, if it relies only on price per square foot, that metric is fine, but it totally ignores land value and condition. Second, if it just ignores the property's condition entirely. Third, if it leaves out the current active competition. Fourth, and this happens a lot, if they only include the absolute highest recent sales and conveniently ignore the lower, more accurate comps. And finally, if a broker promises you one exact guaranteed selling price, no way, massive red flag. Which leads perfectly into this critical quote from our source material. The highest suggested value is not automatically the most accurate. I know, it is so tempting to go with the broker who tells you your house is worth the most money. But if that sky-high number isn't backed up by hard evidence from the comps, it's just a sales tactic to win your listing. If you price too high based on a bad CMA, your property is just going to sit there, get stale, and you'll probably end up selling for less in the long run. Just remember, CMAs are a snapshot of the market on the exact day they're printed. They are not a long-term guarantee. Real estate markets shift constantly. Interest rates bump up, new inventory hits the market, seasons change. Because of all that, a CMA's accuracy actually expires. If the market is super stable, sure, it might be good for a few months. But in a fast-moving market, your CMA might need a refresh in a matter of weeks or literally even days. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If algorithms and tax bills are totally blind to the true condition, the flow, and the actual feeling of your home, what hidden value might a professional CMA uncover for you? Seriously, whether you're looking to sell tomorrow or you're just making a 5-year plan, ditch those automated estimates. Consider the real, deep financial insights that a structured comparative market analysis gives you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep learning.